Imagine buying tickets to see your favorite NBA star, only to find out they're sitting out completely healthy. That's load management, a strategy that took off in 2010 when the Spurs started resting their stars. Now, big names like LeBron, Curry, and Kawhi skip games to stay fresh, sparking debate among fans and analysts alike. Doesn't it have any effect? Let's find out. What is load management? Load management is a hot topic in the NBA. It's basically a strategy where teams limit how much their star players play during the season to keep them fresh for the biggest games. The idea is simple. By sitting out certain games, especially back-to-back ones, players can avoid injuries and extend their careers. It started as a way to protect athletes from the grueling 82-game schedule. Teams believed that playing too many games in a short period could wear down a player's body and increase injury risk. But recently, this approach has caused controversy. Fans get frustrated when they buy expensive tickets only to see their favorite stars sitting on the bench. The league also isn't happy because TV ratings drop when big names aren't playing. The NBA's load management study. To settle the ongoing debate, the NBA conducted a 10-year independent study on load management, analyzing game schedules, minutes played, and injury history. The findings? Playing heavy minutes doesn't necessarily lead to more injuries, and back-to-back games aren't as dangerous as once thought. Instead, factors like past injuries, surgeries, and age play a much bigger role in whether a player gets hurt. One key discovery was that injuries often occur when there's a sudden increase in workload. If a player's minutes jump too quickly, their body might not be ready, increasing the risk of injury. However, a gradual rise in playing time allows the body to adapt safely. Despite these findings, many teams still believe in load management. But the league's message is clear. Resting healthy players won't necessarily prevent injuries. Now, with data to back it up, the debate over load management is more heated than ever. The load management controversy. Even though teams believe in load management, it has created major issues. Players are missing more games than ever, and fans are getting tired of it. In the 1990s, star players missed an average of 10.6 games per season. Today, that number has jumped to 23.9 games. Unfortunately, this goes against what the NBA wants. The league's main goal is to entertain fans and keep ratings high. If star players are constantly sitting out, the NBA loses money from TV deals and ticket sales. This is why the league introduced a rule that players must play at least 65 games to qualify for major awards like MVP. The hope is that this will push players to stay on the court more often. What are the implications for the NBA? With all this data, the NBA and its teams now have to rethink how they approach load management. If resting players doesn't actually prevent injuries, then what's the best way to keep them healthy? One clear takeaway is that players need to gradually build up their workload. Training camps, practices, and preseason games should be used to prepare players for the long season ahead. Instead of randomly sitting out games, players should focus on maintaining a steady level of physical activity. Another key point is that NBA teams have also studied load management, and their findings are quite interesting. They discovered that resting healthy players doesn't necessarily prevent injuries. If athletes are properly conditioned, they can handle high physical stress without problems. Taking a game off here, and there doesn't seem to make much of a difference. However, sudden spikes in workload do increase injury risk. If a player is used to playing 25 minutes per game and suddenly jumps to 40, their body isn't prepared, making them more likely to get hurt. Another issue is the decline in team practices. Over the years, NBA teams have reduced practices to keep players fresh, but some believe this actually does more harm than good. Additionally, today's NBA is played at a much faster pace than before, which may contribute to more injuries. Factors like travel and tight schedules also play a role, but the NBA has started making adjustments to address these concerns. How NBA load management affects a player's life cycle. Along with this, one of the biggest shifts in the NBA is how teams are now thinking long-term about their players. Instead of just focusing on winning the next game, teams are using sports science to manage a player's entire career. Take the Philadelphia 76ers, for example. A few years ago, They went through a rebuilding phase where they focused on drafting young talent. But instead of rushing these players into heavy workloads, they used sports analytics to carefully manage their playing time and development. This approach isn't just about preventing injuries. It's about maximizing a player's potential over time. By tracking how much stress a player's body is under, teams can design personalized training programs that keep players performing at a high level for longer. Well, some say it's necessary to protect players from injuries, while others believe it's ruining the experience for fans who spend their hard-earned money to watch their favorite stars play. The league has tried to adjust, but load management doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Adam Silver's take on load management. In this matter, Adam Silver, the NBA's commissioner, understands why fans are upset. Nobody wants to buy a ticket to see a superstar play only to find out that he's sitting on the bench in street clothes. But Silver also knows that keeping players fresh for the playoffs is important. To address the issue, the NBA made a rule requiring players to play at least 65 games to qualify for major season awards. But has this changed anything? Not really. Some players are still missing games due to injuries, while others are simply resting. Silver has pointed out that despite all the criticism, the NBA is thriving. Ticket sales are at an all-time high. TV ratings are solid, and the league is growing internationally. So, while load management frustrates some fans, it hasn't hurt the business of basketball. Scottie Pippen thinks it's only going to get worse. However, not everyone is happy about where the game is heading. NBA legend Scottie Pippen believes this trend will continue, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. "You can't make the players play," he said. "This will continue to go on." Pippen comes from a different era, where players took pride in playing every game. Fans knew they could count on seeing their favorite stars in action. But now, things have changed. Today's players are making huge amounts of money, and teams are more focused on keeping them healthy rather than pushing them to play every night. For fans, this is disappointing. They work hard to afford tickets, and when they show up to the game, their favorite player might be sitting out. However, teams don't seem to be too concerned because the NBA keeps making money, especially in international markets. The NBA's international appeal. It might be possible that one reason why the NBA isn't too worried about load management is that the league is growing outside the US. More than 75% of the NBA's social media followers are from different countries, and international viewership is breaking records. This means that even if some American fans are frustrated, the league is still booming globally. People from all over the world are watching games, following players on social media, and buying merchandise. This huge international audience gives the NBA confidence that load management won't hurt the league's success. The downside? Since the league is making money no matter what, there's less pressure to fix the problem for local fans who actually buy tickets and attend games. While some hate load management, others argue that it's necessary to keep players healthy and prevent serious injuries. However, the question is, how much is too much? If a player sits out too many games, they might lose their rhythm, their chemistry with teammates might suffer, and fans might lose interest in watching. So, while resting players helps prevent injuries, it also has negative effects on the game. The future of load management in the NBA. So what happens next? Will the NBA find a way to fix load management? Or will things continue as they are? Only time will tell this. At the end of the day, basketball is a business, and the NBA needs its biggest stars on the court. However, teams also want to protect their investments. After all, a healthy player is a valuable player. The challenge now is finding the perfect balance between performance. The only thing that could change this trend is if fans stop watching or ticket sales drop. But with the league still making money, there's little pressure to adjust. For now, fans will have to accept that some nights, their favorite player won't be on the court. Whether this is good or bad for basketball is still up for debate, but one thing is certain, load management isn't going anywhere. It's the new normal in the NBA. Is load management helping or hurting the game? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below, and before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.